On this channel, we provide useful programming information with practical code examples. This time, it's about special characters and functions in CSS. You can learn about special characters and functions like calc and var in CSS. Enabling subtitles will make the code descriptions easier to understand. Please make use of it. First, let's look at special characters and escaping in CSS. CSS escape characters are techniques for safely handling certain characters. By escaping special symbols or characters with syntactic meaning, you can safely use them within selectors or strings. CSS escaping is a mechanism to escape certain characters or Unicode so that they can be used in selectors following specific syntactic rules. For example, when HTML element IDs or class names contain special symbols, hash, and etc., or when dealing with class names or IDs starting with numbers, escape characters are useful. Escaping is primarily used for the following purposes: using special characters as selectors, handling IDs or class names that start with numbers, escaping special symbols or non-ASCII characters. Escape characters are written in CSS using the backslash. By placing a backslash before the characters to be escaped, they are interpreted as normal characters. As in this example, escaping is necessary when using special characters within CSS selectors. Hash, dot, opening bracket, and closing bracket are special characters in CSS. If these characters are included in IDs, escaping is necessary. In CSS, if an ID or class name starts with a number, writing it directly is invalid. In such cases, use escaping. Here, we are escaping the leading 1 in 123 ABC. 1 is represented as Unicode U plus 0031, and escaped with a backslash and space as 31. When escaping Unicode characters, specify a 6-digit hexadecimal number after the backslash. This code shows how to display copyright symbol in CSS. When using a backslash in strings within CSS, like the content property, it must be a double backslash. In this example, is written to display a backslash in the string. Here, we are escaping elements that contain special characters, and $. CSS escape characters are very useful for correctly handling selectors and strings in special cases. Understanding when escaping is necessary helps avoid errors when styling complex HTML elements. Especially when dealing with class names or IDs starting with special characters or numbers, escaping with a backslash is essential. Let's take a look at CSS functions. In CSS, you can use functions to dynamically specify or calculate styles. Here, we introduce some typical CSS functions. The calc function is used to dynamically calculate values like width and height of elements. You can use the plus, minus, asterisk, slash operators to combine relative values, percent, and absolute values, px, in layouts. The RGB and RGBA functions are used to specify colors. RGB specifies 3 values for red, green, and blue, ranging from 0 to 255, while RGBA also includes an alpha value for transparency. HSL and HSLA use hue, saturation, and lightness to specify colors. HSLA can also specify transparency. The URL function is used to specify paths to background images or other resources. The var function is used to work with custom properties, CSS variables. You can define CSS variables and use them in other properties. Attr function is used to utilize HTML attribute values in CSS styles. It is mainly used within the content property of pseudo elements to dynamically display attribute values of elements. However, it requires caution as browser support is limited. These functions are used to dynamically determine values. Min selects the smallest value from a set of values. Max selects the largest value from a set of values. Clamp adjusts a value within a range between a minimum, recommended, and maximum value. The repeat function is used with grid template columns and grid template rows to create repeating patterns. We will discuss grid in another video. These functions are used to create gradients. Linear gradient creates a linear gradient. Radial gradient creates a radial gradient. You can specify ellipse instead of circle to create an elliptical gradient. Conic gradient creates a gradient that changes color based on angles around a circle's center. CSS functions are extremely useful for setting flexible layouts and styles. By effectively using these, you can achieve more dynamic and responsive designs. The source code for this video can be downloaded from the official website. If you like, please visit the URL in the description to aid your learning. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the content of this channel, please consider subscribing.